Distinct privilege and high honor to introduce to you the President of the United States.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is wonderful to be at the United States Air Force Academy on such a spectacular day, and it is a privilege to join you in honoring the class of 2012. I want to thank Secretary Donnelly for his introduction, but more importantly for his leadership. General Gould, Clark, Bourne, Academy, faculty, and staff, the Governor Hickenlooper, members of Congress, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I especially want to acknowledge a graduate of this academy who has kept our Air Force strong through a time of great challenge, a leader I've relied on and for whom today is his final commencement. Chief of Staff, General Norton Schwartz. Norty, Susie, we could not be prouder of you, and we are grateful for 39 years of extraordinary service to our nation. And although he is not with us today, I'm proud to have nominated another Academy graduate, General Mark Welsh, as the next Chief of Staff. Now, this is my second visit to the Academy. I was here in the summer of 2008, and you were getting ready to head out to Jacks Valley. So I was proud to be here when you began this journey, and I thought I'd come back and help you celebrate at the end. It's great to be back at a school that has produced so many of the airmen I've known as president. Every day I rely on outstanding Academy graduates who serve at the White House. Some of you know that photo from the Situation Room on the day we delivered justice to Bin Laden. You can see right next to me a great leader of our Special Operations Forces, General Brad Webb. Last month, I was able to present the Commander-in-Chief Trophy to Coach Calhoun and the Fighting Falcons for the second straight year, a record 18th time. And of course, every time I step on Air Force One, I count on Academy graduates like my pilot today, Colonel Scott Turner. I was going to tell you a joke about Scott, but he's my ride home. So I'm going to have to keep it to myself. Cadets, you distinguished yourselves as leaders before you ever stepped foot on the terrazzo. And when you arrived, I know your upperclassmen gave you quite a welcome. They let you experience the joy of the beast, the pleasure of recognition. They made you experts on filling out forms. I only ask that you resist the temptation to rate my speech fast, neat, average, friendly, good, good. But you survived. In you, we see the values of integrity and service and excellence that will define your lives. And I know you couldn't have made it without the love and support of your moms and dads and brothers and sisters and grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, cousins, so give them all a big round of applause. This Academy is one of the most demanding academic institutions in America, and you have excelled. I'm told you've set at least 3 Academy records. the largest number of graduates ever to go directly on to graduate school. The largest number of female graduates in Academy history. You will follow in the footsteps of General Janet Wolfenbarger, who I was proud to nominate as the first female 4-star general in Air Force history. And, of course, your final and perhaps most impressive distinction, breaking the world's record for the largest game of dodgeball. 3,000 participants, 30 hours. I didn't know that was possible. Of course, you are also the class that snuck into the superintendent's office and moved all the furniture into your dorm rooms. Which does bring me to some important business. In keeping with long-standing tradition, I hereby grant amnesty to all cadets serving restrictions and confinements for minor offenses. Of course, I leave it up to General Gould to define minor. Cadets, this is the day you finally become officers in the finest Air Force in the world. Like generations before you, you'll be charged with the responsibility of leading those under your command. Like classes over the past 10 years, you graduate in a time of war, and you may find yourselves in harm's way. But you will also face a new test, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. 4 years ago, you arrived here at a time of extraordinary challenge for our nation. Our forces were engaged in 2 wars. Al-Qaeda, which had attacked us on 9/11, was entrenched in their safe havens. Many of our alliances were strained, and our standing in the world had suffered. Our economy was in the worst recession since the Great Depression. Around the world, and here at home, there were those that questioned whether the United States still had the capacity for global leadership. Today you step forward into a different world. You're the first class in 9 years that will graduate into a world where there are no Americans fighting in Iraq. For the first time in your lives, and thanks to Air Force personnel who did their part, Osama bin Laden is no longer a threat to our country. We put Al-Qaeda on the path to defeat. You are the first graduate since 9/11 who can clearly see how we'll end the war in Afghanistan. So what does all this mean? When you came here 4 years ago, there were some 180,000 American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. We've now cut that number by more than half. And as more Afghans step up, more of our troops will come home, while achieving the objective that led us to war in the first place, and that is defeating Al-Qaeda and denying themselves safe haven. So we aren't just ending these wars, we are doing so in a way that makes us safer and stronger. Today we pay tribute to all our extraordinary men and women in uniform for their bravery, for their dedication. Those who gave their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan to make this progress possible, including 16 graduates of this academy. We honor them. We will always honor them. For a decade we have labored under the dark cloud of war. And now we can see a light, the light of a new day on the horizon. So the end of these wars will shape your service, and it will make our military stronger. 10 years of continuous military operations have stretched our forces and strained their families. Going forward, you'll face fewer deployments. You'll have more time to train and stay ready. That means you'll be better prepared for the full range of missions you face. And ending these wars will also ensure that the burden of our security no longer falls so heavily on the shoulders of our men and women in uniform. As good as you are, you can't be expected to do it alone. There are many sources of American power: diplomatic, economic, and the power of our ideals. We've got to use them all. And the good news is today we are. Around the world, the United States is leading once more. From Europe to Asia, our alliances are stronger than ever. Our ties with the Americas are deeper. We're setting the agenda in the region that will shape our long-term security and prosperity like no other, the Asia-Pacific. We're leading on global security, reducing our nuclear arsenal with Russia, even as we maintain a strong nuclear deterrent, mobilizing dozens of nations to secure nuclear materials so they never fall into the hands of terrorists, rallying the world to put the strongest sanctions ever on Iran and North Korea, which cannot be allowed to threaten the world with nuclear weapons. We are leading economically, forging trade pacts to create new markets for our goods, boosting our exports, stamped with three proud words: Made in America. We're expanding exchanges and collaborations in areas that people often admire most about America: our innovation, our science, our technology. We're leading on behalf of human dignity and on behalf of freedom, standing with the people of the Middle East and North Africa as they seek their rights.